We're all sold this picture-perfect dream about the beauty industry. But what if the real path to a successful, long-lasting career isn't about that perfect Instagram photo, but something way more fundamental? So let's peel back that glossy cover and find out what's really going on.
So let me ask you, when you think of beauty school, what's the first thing that pops into your head? You're probably picturing, the glamorous photo shoots, the perfect makeup, all those dramatic before and afters, right? That's the image we see everywhere. But is that really the whole story?
Here's the thing. There's this huge gap between the dream and the reality. The dream side is all about glamour, artistry, and killing it on social media. But the reality, the stuff that actually builds a career, that's about your state license, practicing lawfully, and setting up a foundation for real professional success. See, the dream has to be built on that reality, not the other way around.
And if you focus only on that dream, well, you can fall right into what we'll call the glamour trap. It's what happens when the focus on image and aesthetics just completely overshadows the essential, legal, and safety stuff you absolutely need to actually work in this field.
And yeah, that trap comes with a very real price tag. Across the US, a lot of beauty school programs cost somewhere between $15,000 and $20,000. I mean, that's a massive chunk of change to invest before you've even earned a single dollar as a pro.
So to cover that high price, a lot of people end up taking on federal student loans. And the result? It can be this really heavy burden of debt that creates lifelong financial pressure before your career even has a chance to get off the ground.
Okay, so what if there was a different way to do all this? A model that just flips the script and puts the foundation first. Let's dive into a whole different path, the licensing first philosophy, which is exactly what the Louisville Beauty Academy is all about.
You see, their whole model is built on these really clear, super practical pillars. First and foremost, licensing. Then, making sure the education is actually affordable. And it's all supported by hands-on training that, and this is key, gives students a choice. It's a total 180 from that glamour first approach we were just talking about.
And it really all boils down to this one simple idea. The goal isn't just beauty. The goal is lawful, licensed professional success. Everything else, your skills, your creativity, your artistry, all of that has to grow from that solid, unshakable foundation.
All right, let's break down how this actually works, starting with the absolute most important piece of that foundation, law and safety. Because before you can be creative, you have to be compliant and you have to be safe.
What this really means is that every single part of the program is laser-focused on one thing, passing the state licensing exam and being able to practice legally. We're talking state-approved training, logging the right number of lawful hours, mastering sanitation and safety, and being 100% ready for that exam. It's all about meeting every single requirement of the Kentucky Board of Cosmetology.
So why is this license such a big deal? Because it's so much more than just a piece of paper. Think of it like an equation for success. Getting your license equals opportunity. It equals the dignity of being a true professional, the stability of a real career, and the freedom to build your own future.
But look, a license is only valuable if you can actually get the education to earn it, right? And that brings us to the second pillar of this whole model, affordability and support.
And this is where it gets really real. This pillar is all about recognizing that students are, people with actual lives. So that means simple, transparent pricing with no surprises. It means intentionally staying away from federal loan programs to prevent that crushing debt. And it means flexible schedules, because they're designed for working adults, for parents, for people who are juggling a million other things in a supportive, humanized culture.
It really just comes down to this core belief. Education should be a tool that swings doors wide open to new opportunities, not a financial trap that slams them shut. Okay, so you've got the legal foundation, you've got the financial accessibility. What's next? The final piece of this puzzle is confidence. So let's look at the third pillar, building real-world skills.
So their training journey is super clear and, most importantly, safe. Everything starts with building a solid foundation practicing on mannequins. Then, as students get more confident, they have the option, and it is always an option, to work on live patrons, but only under full instructor supervision. The core principle here is simple. Education always comes before production.
Now, this is a really, really important distinction. When students perform services in the clinic, it is not employment. It is part of their education. Those hours are training hours that count toward their license. This model protects everybody involved, the students, the public, and the integrity of the whole educational process.
All right, so you've built a career on these three pillars: law, affordability, and skills. What's the payoff? Why does this different approach matter so much in the end?
Well, the benefits are super clear, and they really do extend to everyone. Students graduate totally prepared for their licensing exam. Graduates can start working immediately and legally, without that crushing weight of debt. The public is protected because they're getting safe, lawful services. And the whole community gains a new wave of skilled, responsible professionals.
So, it all comes back to this one powerful promise. It's not about the flash and the glamour. It's about teaching responsibility, guaranteeing licensure readiness, instilling true professionalism, and ultimately building a lifelong livelihood.
And that leaves us with a pretty fundamental question, doesn't it? This whole model challenges the way things are usually done by asking, should education be an open door to opportunity, or should it be a financial gate that keeps people out? It's a question worth thinking about, not just for the beauty industry, but for all kinds of education.